Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 12 of the East Coast Series, coming to you live from Detroit Motor City, from the Belle Island on Detroit River. Welcome, Nato.
Good evening, John. Good evening, everyone.
How we going, mate?
Yeah, we're going not too bad. We've been allowed out and about from good old Melbourne lockdown, so I feel like a kid in a candy store again. It's just been good to be out and about, and before we know it, though, we're back to a Tuesday night, and well, I actually enjoy being indoors and doing this on a Tuesday night. It's great fun. I don't know about you, Johnny, but here we go again.
Yeah, it is back again, mate.
I can't hear you, Joe.
It just seems to go around quite quickly. I'm really surprised. It's Tuesday again, and this series is just really the talk of iRacing at the moment. The boys are so closely contested, we might actually go straight to the championship settings and have a quick look at what's going on there. So, Blake Warboys on 1876 and Jamie McKnight on 1863. Don't get much closer than that. No, and then to back that up, we've got Harrison Dengate, who has managed to hang on at 1786. And then right behind him, we've got Rob Carmichael on 1753. And then a further 2 points back, Scotty McCune in 6th. Paul Young from PRA in 1700 points, 1701. And Andrew Archer in 7th at 1647. These guys are really, really keeping it tight.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. The front boys are just starting to creep away a teeny tiny little bit up there near that pointy end, but I mean, that's throughout the whole entire field. You have one bad round, and it's not a case of, I might be able to hold my position. You can pretty well safely assume that you're going to lose a decent chunk of space. So, and as we've seen, it's not easy to gain those points back with some of the performances that some of the guys have been putting in. So, it's fantastic to see, and it's getting really exciting now that we're getting close to the pointy end of all this.
Definitely is. It's getting extremely exciting because, as you know, there's 15 rounds in this series. So next week it's Sebring. Week after that we go to Imola, and then the week after that is the Bathurst 500, which I got a feeling this series will go right down to that race.
Yeah, I reckon so. I reckon it's going to be, one, a very fun experience for all involved with this Bathurst 500, but two, there's going to be the added pressure of all these weeks of racing and months of racing is going to come down to this one Bathurst round, like you're saying. So I don't really see anyone skipping away with it before then. So I'm excited, Johnny.
Oh, so am I. And we've got some new faces tonight. We might quickly go and have a look at the track before we get to those. So have a look at the track. Of course, it's the famous Belle Isle circuit on Belle Isle in the Detroit River in Detroit, also known as Motor City. No, believe it or not, it used to be the commerce and financial capital of the United States before the Depression, and it was one of the biggest cities in the world, all built around, of course, the manufacture of cars, home of the Model T Ford. But the track we're on today, we start in turn 1, turn 2 complex. Turn 1, a very sweeping turn. Turn 2, another sweeping turn. Then we come over the bridge on the little canal, and that bump over that bridge is likely to catch people out. Then we run down the very fast Central Avenue into the very exciting turn 3, one of the highly anticipated overtaking parts of the track, where a lot of guys will do a dive, and we will see some grief there, I reckon, tonight. We then work our way through the 4, 5, 6 complex out onto the Strand, and then from the Strand we come up into what I call the casino bus stop, so turn 7, 8 and 9, and then the sweeping turn 10, into the other tight turn 11, which is another one you've got to get right. You've got to remember we're racing on a road circuit tonight, so there's a lot of bumps that are going to throw the car around. And then we go around we turn around turn 12 into a flowing turn 13, and then we sweep back past the pit lane across our start-finish line through turn 14. And another fun fact, of course, around turn 9 and 10, the big circle is, of course, a landmark feature of Belle Isle. It is the James Scott Memorial Water Fountain.
Yeah, that's certainly. I thought you had the fun fact of the night before, but you've just topped your own fun fact of the evening you have there, Johnny.
Yes, and why is it called the Memorial Fountain? Because James Scott's not here tonight. So,
Yes, that's certainly one that we'll be mourning over, and then wishing that he was here, give it another crack at trying to lap the entire field. So it would have been interesting to watch him give it a go tonight. So if you're listening on, James, challenge has been put out there again. Let's give it another go. Let's see if we can hit the PB of lapping everyone and seeing if we can implement the James Scott mercy rule.
of course, speaking of the PB of the circuit, it's been held by Brody Kostecki at a 1 minute 27.980. So another circuit James Scott doesn't hold the record on, which is great to see.
Yeah, it's that is crazy quick though. Like even some of the times these boys are doing, like that's ridiculously quick around this concrete jungle. It is.
Definitely is. It is quite scary how quick it is. We might just have a quick look. Speaking of how quick they are, we'll have a quick look at the qualifying sheet. So we've got a new driver tonight. We did put the call out last week for the young guns of United Sim Sport to step up to the plate. And we have young Sir Kobe Jones in pole position with a 1:28.1. So that's a fairly quick lap in itself. In second, we've got Logan Barnett. In third, we've got Blake Warboys. Paul Young from PRA and the Banter Alliance. Outstanding effort in fourth. Really impressed by that. In front of Jamie McKnight. So it'll be interesting to see how those two tag team tonight. And then Michael Whiting in sixth, Rob Carmichael 7, Troy Maguire 8. So we've got a bit of a fishy train there. Christian Smart in ninth. Ash Barella cracks the top 10.
It's good to see Ash up there in the top 10. It's certainly creeping his way forward more and more as the season's going on. It's great to see.
And of course, we've got a couple of guys at the rear of grid tonight. One of them, we did put the challenge out to this guy last week. And no, it's good to see he's actually shown up to back up the words that were being said from the PRA team and the Banter Alliance boys, the Emu Sport, Emu Racing as well. Mr. James Chastaneuf is starting rear of grid, so a very well-known favourite of the Scops. And we also have the Andrew Hoffman, in the Rustmobile, starting at the back of the grid with Tyrone Anderson.
I reckon we're going to have a few men that are going to be charging their way through this concrete jungle tonight, Johnny. This could be quite entertaining.
Absolutely. And if you reckon I've said Chastaneuf correctly, let me know if I've got it right. Jump in the chat, say good day. It's good to see Joshy Barella's with us and Christine Van Rees with us tonight. Dave Baldock out there getting right behind Paul Young. Very happy that he's ahead of Jamie. So, if you are watching Aon Home, get in the chat, say good day. Let us know who you think's going to take the chocolates tonight. And also don't forget to rate NATO's commentary.
Let us know as well if we have convincingly hit these P plates, or if we're still borderline, or if we can advance from red P plates to green P plates. So I think that's still how the system works, isn't it, Johnny?
Oh, I've just been informed by Race Control that James Chastaneuf still hasn't shown up yet. So if you're out there, PRA boys, get on the blower. He's still got 5 minutes to get in the server. Want to see the man, the legend, the myth?
This could be some interesting tactics he's got going here. Waiting until the very last second to show up. So hopefully he shows up. It'd be good to see him on the back of the grid, and it'd be fantastic to see what he can do.
It would be. As Paul Young pulls up and stops there, and not sure what's going on, what's happened to him. He's nicely parked up on the Central Avenue. Looks like practicing a start. Probably going to need those in down pat if he's going to be able to take on Jamie.
Especially going into the turn 1-2 complex here. It's, as you can tell from that aerial shot, there's not a lot of room on the track for any mistakes, or like some other, like last week at Suzuka, if you got it wrong, you had plenty of runoff to be able to sort of keep the flow and keep your car going. If you make a mistake here, there is a big lump of concrete with your name on it, and from experience, it does bite very hard. So, as we just saw there from Frank Hodak.
Oops.
Yes, point and case.
This is really like, we've done a few races around here in Vets. We've done a few races I've done a few races in the OSR Dev Series. This is really a track where you've got to get the bumps right, You've got to hit the apexes hard and get the power down smoothly. Otherwise, you will hit concrete, and there will be a safety car.
Yeah, it's if there's an event that you were almost guaranteed a safety car at the track, and doesn't matter which race or which series you're in, it's usually this track without fail. So there's not many times you can get away without with a nice clean race. However, stranger things have happened, so fingers crossed the boys can all make it through. And we've seen plenty of racing room and racing respect go on with some of the racing and some of the passes that we've seen in previous weeks. So that will certainly be put to test with everyone tonight.
Definitely will be. And when you sort of also start thinking about the championship part of it as well, NATO, you've really got that fact. You've got to be thinking about where you are, where your opposition is, and how you're going to tackle this, because a DNF here is really going to hurt your abilities to compete.
Yeah, exactly. It could go from I am quite comfortable at the pointy end, and let's just get to Bathurst and see how well we do there, or it will turn into, holy moly, how am I going to get back up there? So like if Blake, Jamie or Harrison were to have a or even Rob there being so close to or Rob and Scotty McCune, like, again, point in case, they're so close at that pointy end. If any of them have a DNF or any of them have a bad round, it's almost a game over Red Rover for your championship. So
absolutely.
But I'm sure they've all got their game plan. They all know what fuel usage is per lap, and I might dart into Larko's box at some point as we get on throughout the race to see how everyone's tracking along. But they'll all have their strategy. They'll all know what they want to do. They'll all know if they want to rely on that undercut, or if they're going to try and get the tank to last as long as possible. It'll just all be a case of let's see how we go and let's see who can survive. Or we could do what Stewie said and just go no guts, no glory. So there is lots of guts around this track to be able to pull it off.
Definitely is. As the other thing you got to think about as well around this track too will be lap traffic. It will not be easy to get past the lap guys. It's a track where a lap guy can be 1 and possibly 2 seconds slower than what you are, and can lead for you to be really caught up and not be able to hang on to the guy in front.
Yeah, exactly, and it's one of those tracks as well that I really wouldn't want to be a shock absorber around here. They certainly cop an absolute hammering, and as you can sort of see as we watch the cars come to a close with their warm-up and fine-tuning their race setups, is that it's very, very bouncy everywhere you go around here. There's not much time that you can sort of sit back and relax and let your muscles have a little bit of recovery. It's the whole time around the track you're encountering some form of a bump. So,
and big shout out to Mark Dial, who wants to play safety car bingo, so he's going with number 3. I'm probably going to go with 2, just because the standard of driving in this series has been very high. I've been very impressed with it as practice comes to an end. Just give us a second. We might quickly go to the grid. Have a quick look through that while I just wait for the system to reload. Here we go. Quick run down the grid. Kobe Jones, P1 for United Sim Sports. Logan Barnett, P2. Blake Wallboys, 3-3 for WK&P and Kinetic Racing. Paul Young for PRA. Jamie McKnight for United Sim Sports as well. And 5th, Michael Whiting, Rob Carmichael, Troy Maguire from Fishy, followed by Christian Smart from SSR. Ash Warboys from WK&P. Michael Stewart from HSR, Scotty McCune from HSR, and we have Harrison Dengate from WK&P, Harrison back a bit in 13th there, Timmy Nichols in 4th from Pecky Performance, Send It Simsport, Nathan Gore in 15, Renow, Frank Hodak 16, Blair Van Ree in 17, Troy Sipple 18, Loveridge 19, Archer 20, 21 we have Drage, 22 we have M1 Racing's Darren Crosby, 23 we have Scorpion Esports Toddy Martin and Jason Dibadito in 24th. And then we have David Garbett from Hypersonic Racing in 25th, 26th, Mark Peck, 27, Nathan Cook, Ryan Van Ree in 28, 29, Dylan Sipple, 30, Shane Ewans and Mauler Esports entry. And then 31, we have Andrew Hoffman. 32, another rear of starter, Tyrone Anderson. And 33 is our safety car driver, Richie Barella. And we're not far from going here, so we will cue the cameras up. I think we're in for a cracker of a race, Nath.
Yeah, I reckon that it's certainly going to be an action-packed one, and I would certainly not be surprised at all if we see an early safety car in this first lap or two. Even though the boys do really, really good at giving themselves that racing room, it just takes one bump the wrong way, and when you have an angry pack of cars behind you, of up to 30 people behind you, it could be carnage very early on. So fingers crossed that the track doesn't get blocked, but ladies and gentlemen, we're about to go.
Green flag.
And we are away in the Motor City 250. Looks like a great start there from Kobe Jones, getting away quite clearly. Blake Warboys has jumped Logan Barnett into second. A lovely start. Looks like we've got a few little incidents down in the rear grid, which we'll come back to. But everyone looks fairly clean there as we come down Central Avenue into turn 3. Kobe Jones getting a really good jump here. Warboys under pressure from Barnett. Young is hold on to the 4th spot. McKnight still in 5th. Rob Carmichael in 6th, and Christian Smart's up 2 spots into 7th.
Oh, we got a little spinner. Oh, they all seem to get through. Tim Nicol caught up in a little bit of an incident there. Sorry, Johnny.
That's right, Nath. As Kobe Jones is really getting off to a fly. Barella, we've had an accident. Might quickly jump back. Something's gone wrong with Ash Barella. On the Dirty Pig replay here. A little bit wide with loose, as we said. Nice tap. Harrison Dengate in the middle there. And, Barella caught. Yeah, yep. Oh, that is big. That's Blair Van Ree on the roof.
Oh, no.
As we said, that is mass carnage. Just trying to listen to see if there's a safety car being called.
Please.
Well,
we'll go back to live pictures. I got a feeling there was a safety car.
So there was that incident that you had there as well, but one corner back just behind Johnny as well. There was one involving Jason DiBedito and a few others.
Yep, we might quickly go to that one as well. I think we might be on a safety car. I'm going to assume we're under safety car here, but this is the DiBedito incident. He's done exactly the same thing as Ryan. Corner back, and I'm not sure who's caught up with him there, but that's...
Safety car forward and flag.
Yep, there's a call.
Safety car is out.
There you go. I've called it before, race control.
But we're taking over a pastime hobby of being part-time race control as well as commentators. Look at us go.
Well, you know, whoa, we just saw Kobe Jones there a bit loose into the wall. That's probably not a good way to be. We might just go back, Nate. I do have another replay of that pile-up that we might just go to.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolute carnage at Detroit. Just what we expected.
Yep. That's, well, we were talking about it whilst they were doing their practice, so it was certainly going to happen sooner or later.
So while we're under safety car, we might just try and get this one from a different camera. So Barella got a bit loose. Lovely little tap there. Checked everybody up. Dengate on the inside, bit of a squeeze. Barella into the cushion, back into the traffic, and of course, coming blind round the corner. That's not going to end well.
I reckon our hot number for safety car bingo could be quite an achievement to get it right tonight. So. You've said 2, Mark said 3. I'm going to go out on a limb on something completely different and say 5 safety cars for tonight. I'm going to go all out.
I reckon that's a big call. Poor old Blair. He was the victim of that one.
Yeah, it's... after watching that first lap, cold tyres as well, bumpy track, full tank of fuel, very, very hard to get everything right and not have any incidents.
Of course, here's the bloke we haven't seen for a little while, Richie Barella, out in front of the pack.
He's not far off getting the amount of laps led for this evening as well.
definitely. So yeah, there's been a few little incidents in that one. We're not waiting for the dust to settle, but a few big losers and a few winners so far. A hard charger at the moment would be Dylan Sipple, who's up 12 spots, along with Shane Ewan's up 11. So the mid-pack boys doing reasonably well.
Yeah, Andrew Hoffman sort of joined them along as well. It's like those three boys there, isn't it? Wow. Yeah, Dylan Sipple, Andrew Hoffman and Shane Ewans, all three have gone from about 30th up to just inside the top 20, so that's
Sipple's
a very solid effort.
Sipple's just gone in the pits. So Sipple's dropped out of that little group. Sorry, Dylan Sipple, sorry, not Troy. So Dylan's back racing tonight, so we've got both Sipple's racing.
On a side note, Mark's on Richie's side for this evening. He's his personal cheerleader, asking him to keep it clean, Richie. So you got a crowd following you tonight, Rich. No pressure.
Sorry, just going through the comments here. Dave Baldock saying a Van Ree on the roof. Things to come on Thursday night, maybe.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Well, I did have a run-in with Mr. Baldock on
$1 million on fucking rut.
just shut McKnight up. Got McKnight in my ear. He had a nice little run-in with Dave Baldock at Interlagos on last Thursday night, where he came flashing across the front of my car at 90 degrees. How I didn't hit him, I do not know. How Dave is still alive, I do not know. But it was a pretty epic accident. So Richie Barella backing them up.
Yeah, just your wings missing.
Just going to adjust some volume here. Just bear with me.
Mark that, ladies and gentlemen.
So, incorrect use of comms. Big call from Mark Dial. The old race control. Let's see if they're onto that one.
71, can you please drop behind car 18 in the queue, please?
Just having a bit of a look-see through the field, and it looks like there's one Holden Monaro we have instead of a ZB Commodore anymore, and that's Andrew Archer. He's going for a little bit of a unique look of a bit of a banged-up back of the car and no bonnet kind of look, and it certainly is reminding me more of a Holden Monaro as opposed to a ZB Commodore, but we'll see if that works for him as the race goes on.
Absolutely.
There's plenty of cars that are looking like they've had a little bit of a little bump in one corner or in one way, shape or form. So
Section here, 36 car will drive away. At that point, Cody,
sounds like safety car might be about to drive away, Nath. Jump on board. See if Richie's still hasn't lost his skills. And we're get going.
Overlapping is allowed at the last turn, but overtaking not
Let's
allowed.
go green flag racing as the safety car pulls away.
will Rich do it? Oh, nearly hits the wall there. Mirror's still intact. Oh, beautiful, Rich. Absolutely beautiful.
And he's in pit lane. Go back to Kobe. Kobe Jones. About to start lap 5.
It's gone nice and early.
And we are green flag racing.
A very large gap over Blake already.
Reasonable gap. Logan Barnett sitting right behind War Boys. Paul Young still in 4th. McKnight still in 5th. Carmichael up 1 spot into 6th. Smart up 2 spots into 7th. Michael Whiting's lost 2 and Maguire's lost 2 as we snake our way down the Central Avenue here on Belle Isle.
Well, I'm going to put that race start as a up in the eventful category. I am, Johnny.
Yeah, it definitely was. And I got a feeling that's not going to be the last we're going to see of that sort of stuff. So, Kobe, nice and clean out now to a second lead from Blake. Great to see one of the young guns of USSR, United Sim Sports, here tonight. We did put the call out last week for a certain Bud Haydenveld to come and have a crack in the series, so I'm a bit disappointed Bud's not here.
Yeah, well, we've had to settle for the next best, haven't we, Johnny?
Oh, I don't know whether we've settled for the next best. But Bud, for those who don't know, Bud goes by the nickname of the People's Champion in Full Send Motorsport series on Monday nights. A young driver in this United Sim Sports team, aspiring to be the next Jamie McKnight.
Oh, I wonder if Jamie's teaching these young fellas how to fuel save as much as he is, or if he's keeping a trick or two up his sleeve to always just have a little bit over him.
It will be interesting as we jump on board.
Hang on to it, Macca.
Those, so we can see that Jones is starting to get away from All Boys a little bit, but no, as we said, this race is about fuel saving. You can see the bumps as well as we come around the corners here. Definitely concrete jungle, this track.
100%. There's if there was one piece of panel that iRacing would simulate every time it got hit of a mirror being knocked off, there would be a lot of mirrors that weren't on the cars by the end of tonight. So the other people that would be getting a very good client base after this evening would be all the chiropractors and dentists, because everyone will have backs rattled to pieces and teeth shaken out of their mouths tonight. So hopefully though, nothing major like what we saw in those first couple of laps. Everyone seems to be filing through and finding that little bit of a rhythm early on. There's no big movers or no big carnage going on here. I think everyone wants to try and bring it home safely.
Well, that's the trick. We've still got 60 laps to go, as we might just jump on board here and do a lap of the Belle Isle circuit with Blake Warboys through turn 1. Turn 2, you've got to throttle it in third gear over the bump that we talked about onto the Grand Avenue, Central Avenue, sorry. It's long straight as we come down into this hard braking point, about at the tree, on the brakes hard, back down to second, roll it over the apex, on the gas nice and smooth, up into third, roll it on the apex again, keep it off the wall here, get it over to the other wall, roll it through. Then the off camber corner, this one makes it a little bit more difficult, and then on the gas.
Race control here, look at final turn 2, lap 7.
As we come down here, very hard braking turn, and the corner bends away, we get in on the apex. Again, another tough corner through here. You've got to feather it round, keep it off the wall as you come out. You hit that curb, you bounce out sideways as we just saw. Same thing again, you've got reverse camber. Be real careful with the car. Come around here, around the right corner, bad bump on the road there. Careful of that so you don't get into the wall. On the gas, 300 on the brakes again. Feather it round, keep it off the wall again. You can hear the tyres screeching. Same thing again, hear the tyres screeching as he goes right out to the edge of the wall. And that, my friends, is a lap of Belle Isle.
And there's about 1 million tonne of metric concrete that you passed on the way through there as well. So all good to have made it through for one more lap without touching any of it.
So we have a
no
look here.
exaggeration on the concrete, by the way.
So we have a look here. Paul Young in fourth, trying to run down Logan Barnett. So Logan right up behind Warboys there. So Young keeping the pressure on a bit further. He's started to get a little bit of a breakaway from Jamie McKnight. And Jamie, he's under all sorts of pressure from Rob Carmichael. So he's got a little bit of a train here, starting to form. We have a look at one or two of these fishy cars. They've got a few dents in the sides. So Carmichael's obviously been in a bump somewhere. So we might just scroll back a bit further.
I think having a look at our comments there, Johnny, your shall I say, driving and track negotiation ability has been put in the spotlight there from Mr. Roy Clark.
Let me just read this one. Wait, Ah, Roy.
That's I thought that would be one that I would hand over to your expertise.
Ah, yes. It's the case, Roy, of the brain not communicating to the arms and legs. Some people have talent and some people just don't. I know where I stand. Like that one? Mind you, there's a few blokes in vets that probably need to learn that themselves as well. What is it? Where imagination meets reality.
Yeah, it's always a vicious cycle where what your mind has, and I'm guilty of this one, where what your mind has you doing versus what you're watching yourself do, always end up being two different things half the time. So, seems like a great idea at the time, but sometimes it's not always the best one.
So this is a nice segue while we're looking at people's driving styles. Like, as we do know, Ben Anthony likes to get out and do a bit of racing himself. So I went through the archives since here at Motor City. I thought we'd go through the Ford archives. I know he's a bit of a Ford fan. And I found this video of Ben driving around Belle Isle. Hey, good to see race control finally getting behind the wheel of a car.
That is good. It's always good to see him out and about there. But it's again, I think it's back to that what we have in our mind versus what gets executed are sometimes two different things. So good to see him heading out. I wonder where their next adventure's going to be, though.
As we're having a look here, we can see a little bit of pressure coming onto Christian Smart from Troy Maguire now. So these guys are really starting to bottle up a little bit behind McKnight. And you can sort of see Dengate in the background starting to latch on. He's up 3 spots.
Yeah, if Harrison manages to get on the back of this pack, it'll be roughly a 6-car battle pack that we have from McKnight all the way down to Young H.
And I'm in trouble with that one. I can see that one coming earlier. It's good to see. Oh, bit of contact in the wall there. Christian's hit the wall.
Oh, it's not going to be helping his cause for the night, Mr. Christian.
Oh, he's just gone back a couple of spots, back into the clutches of Dengate. It's great to see that the Ford Holden rivalry still exists quite strongly amongst the faithful of the East Coast V8s.
I don't think it's one that's going to be passing up anytime soon.
No, don't you worry. I've got a comeback coming later. I'll fix this one up.
So you're full of the fun facts tonight, Johnny.
And we're on lap 11, so really we are only 1/6 of the way into this race. And we might just have a look. We've been sitting on this battle here for a little bit around Maguire, Carmichael, McKnight. So just to recap where we are in the race, Kobe Jones is out to a 2.2 second lead from Warboys. Logan Barnett still right behind Warboys, so that's still very close. Let's quickly jump in and have a look what's going on there. So Blake under a bit of pressure, which is good to see. And then Paul Young, further 3 seconds back down the road in 4th. And then a further 2 seconds back to McKnight. So Paul Young's probably in the great position here of being able to look after the tyres and look after the car.
Yeah, I reckon he's certainly sitting in the prime position to capitalise once the first round of pit stops start coming through. So he'll be one to watch out for, I reckon, later on this evening.
Definitely don't rule out Paul Young, I think, for tonight. And we might just do a quick flick down through the pack and have a look how a few other guys are getting on. Might go back, have a look at Mark Peck. So Pecky, he's obviously caught in that incident earlier on, so he's sitting back in 29th position at the moment. He's trying to trace down Andrew Archer in front of him, but these boys have got a bit of work to do. So it's good to see Pecky, and it's good to see Pecky flexing his muscles.
So I mean, don't mind a bit of flex, do we, John?
No, I don't want a bit of flex. Move on. Tyrone Anderson, who started rear of grid, he's up 8 spots in 24th, so he's had a really good start. He's basically, at the moment, chasing up onto Jason Dibadito with a bit of lap traffic in front of him. So we might just put that on so I can see the lap traffic that comes up. And we might jump up a bit further. Ash Barella, after being involved in that accident, he's still rolling in 21st spot. Trying to chase down Andrew Hoffman in 20th. So Andrew's up 11 spots in the Rustmobile. Let's go to TV1 camera. This is a great livery, this one. I like this one.
It's certainly a good one, it is.
It does look very good. And of course, Mr. Timmy Nichols, sitting in 19th at the moment. I think he was caught in a few incidences in those lap 1 and 2 flurry. Got another one of the Pecky Performance Racing cars. And then Dylan Sipple is leading our hard charger at the moment as he hangs on to that. So Dylan, another member of the Scorpion Esports team. Looks like his tyres might be getting a little bit loose here as he tries to hang on to it.
Yeah, we're starting to hit that phase of the race, aren't we, Johnny, of the tyres and the fatigue starting to kick in a little bit, isn't it?
Absolutely. And like I said before, this is a really tough track. You've got bumps that'll throw the car. You've got to really work hard to catch everything that happens around you. And we might just quickly keep moving through. We'll have a quick look at Darren Crosby from M1 Racing. So Darren is sitting in 16th at the moment, up 6 spots. Looks like he's managed to stay out of most of the drama.
David.
And we might jump up. Nicholas Loveridge, one of our most improved drivers of this season. He's done really well. As he is doing really well. We've had a bit of an incident with Dylan Sipple. We did say it was...
What's your read like, man?
Might just jump to the replay, Nath. I was
Yeah,
just saying a second ago, this
good.
guy was our hard charger, so... What's happened to Sips? It's been a bit deep into turn 3.
When he, as we're watching this, he's just looped it again.
We'll just jump to that one as well.
Wonder if he has a bit of damage of some kind.
He might have. It doesn't look straight. We'll go back to live pictures. We might jump back up to the front of the pack again. We'll come back through the boys and have a look later. So, Kobe Jones is still out the 3-second lead from Warboys. Logan Barnett nicely tucked in behind Blake.
Fair enough.
So, of course, Blake's probably thinking the long game here. Probably more than happy to let Kobe Jones walk away. That's probably what you'd be doing, wouldn't you, Nath?
Yeah, I'd be... if he's got the early on pace and got that youth sort of in there, I'd be sort of... not half relying on it, but half anticipating another safety car. But yeah, I wouldn't be throwing away the potential of losing points just to try and stick on the back of him. I'd be doing, like I said, if I was Blake, I'd just be sitting there, go into my own race, go into my own rhythm. You know you got Logan who's just sitting behind you there and you're both pumping out some decent lap times. I'd just be shaping up and trying to get the best possible run for the final stint of the race. I'd be paying attention to see how well the undercut works on the first stop, and if it works really, really well, I'd definitely be trying to shape up to do it as early as possible for the second stop. So that's where my mind would be. Whether it's right or not, that's time will tell, but there's probably a good reason why I'm sitting here talking as opposed to being up the front there racing as well. So we'll see how the evening pans out for him.
Definitely be interesting to see. Like, as this said earlier, this is a track that's very difficult to overtake on. So really, what you've got to be thinking about is the undercut, I think.
Yeah, it's certainly a good case of possession is over half the battle around here, because it's very easy to make your Mustang or your Commodore much wider than what it actually appears around here, because having the advantage of them not being able to use any extra bits of the track or go a little bit wider to be able to get a better run than you. It's very easy to, well, not very easy, it's much easier in comparison to other tracks to be able to keep your competitor behind you. So
Just looks like we had a bit of an incident, Nathan. I'm just going to jump back and just have a look. Something's happened with Nathan Cook. It's happening. Coming a bit hot down the strand and taking someone with him, Dave Garbott with him, and just see whether Josh Drage gets caught up in this as well. No, he doesn't, so I'm not sure what happened to Josh. So quick on the replay. I think it might have been maybe Josh that was caught out wide. No, Josh just having an incident in turn 3 by himself. So I'll go back to live pictures. We might just jump back on the McKnight battle here and see how it's going behind him in the McKnight train. Oh, Motor City, of course, is also known as Motown. Very famous for the song Night Train. Another fun fact.
it's I'm not even going to compete with you for these fun facts this evening, Johnny. I'm going to be like a sponge and absorb all of them for my next trivia night.
We've just had another accident. We might have a look what happened to Jason Dibadito. So J Dibs. Oh, it looks like a few cars in there. We might go back on that. Come down to a different camera angle.
Right, that's all I need to,
Oh, might have a safety car, Johnny. Sorry.
Yep. We might go back to live pictures.
Oh, Andrew Hoffman's.
The Hoffman's parked in a safety car.
Careful on the exit of the entry into the bus stop section.
We have a safety car.
To the right, sorry, on exit.
So this will make it very interesting.
Please hold position.
Warboy's in, Jones in. Boys are all diving into the pits.
Race control, can you have a look at my incident on lap 14?
As you can see, they're all youngs in.
Yep, we'll look at it,
It
mate.
looks like Carmichael's going to stay out with Maguire. So the fishy boys going to play the long game.
Here we go. Those fishy boys are up to something fishy again. They are, Johnny.
Absolutely. Everyone else has gone in here. We're up to Frank Hodak. I think we're going to have a mad rush to get out of the pits here. Let's make sure that Jones gets out on time. As we're all sitting in the pits.
Whiting just overshot his bay a little bit, and everyone else
So
just pulling it up on their marks.
Kobe's on his way out. Warboy's on his way out. Logan dropped a little bit later. That doesn't really matter. And
One safety car's up past you, mate. You can tow.
so everyone down to Ashbarella is pitted. So down to P. So making the most of the safety car. But the question will be is how much further can Rob Carmichael go?
Yeah, it's an interesting call to decide to stay out. I definitely would have been coming in. So because we must have been getting pretty close to the our first fuel window, and we're going to save it. The guys are going to save a decent chunk of fuel as well because they're going to be under safety car for the next couple of laps. So
You can overtake.
I'm sure that there must be some method to their madness, or if maybe they're just a couple of flying salmon caught out of that river. Not too sure.
As you can see, the Hoff there.
15,
Everyone
please,
going around him.
please, escape.
Unless the boys are relying on more safety cars to try and do it in one stop.
Yep, I've told Becky to drive fast, but he hasn't yet.
Be very interesting to see how this plays out, to be honest. Nath?
261, overtake please on the right, safely.
Guys, we might just have a bit of a car watch while the boys are doing. I think they're going to be doing another lap after this one. Of course, Shane Ewens in the Mauler Esports entry. The Paul's milk sponsorship. Another great looking car. Of course, Josh Drage from Pecky's behind him. Another guy we haven't mentioned and said a shout out to tonight.
When you catch the back of the
Nathan Gore from Centre Sim Sports.
Okay.
It's another great looking entry. So, as we have a look, Dave Baldock. Yes, Ben Anthony's busy in race control.
Same deal.
Mate, you I'm going to get in trouble here for the Ford Holden comments, but because we did say Ben was in a Ford before, and basically the wheels have fallen off in race control. I think Dave. That's why he's not giving his comments tonight.
Yeah, I think their mechanical skills are going to certainly be put to the test there, Johnny.
And of course, Ben's going to be busy with getting wave arounds and everything else. I'll get away with that one.
So we might get a wave around ourselves. We could get away with it.
If you are following along at home, jump in the comments, say good day, let us know how you're going. And of course, Dave Baldock, I was going to say it again, mate, nugs not drugs.
Sorry then, mate.
Why is it whenever we're racing in America, we end up talking about fried food?
It's I think America has cultured the rest of the world that it's just normal to have fried stuff in America. So
Nathan, report to the sim room.
Nathan, did you hear that one?
yeah, I did.
Radio control from the car.
I'm a little bit curious as to what's going on here.
That's improper use of comms, isn't it?
Yeah, that could be. That's you mightn't get a wave around for that one.
Oh, you better go leave me for a second.
Yeah, I will be back in 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember, nugs, not drugs.
Well, while Nathan's gone, we'll be racing this time round. Richie Barella in the race car, in the safety car, out there performing reasonably well again, keeping it on the black stuff, which is a lot we like to see.
Safety car pulling away from the field. Rob, please maintain.
The safety car's about to go, and
I'll advise when the safety car is in pit lane. Overlapping is allowed.
Richie
After the last
pulling away nicely, hitting the apexes. Got his little Porsche going nice. About to do the duck in the pit lane, still in one piece. Well done.
When you're ready.
So, back to the leaders. Rob Carmichael has control of the field. And we're about to go green flag racing. He's holding them up. He's holding them up. This is a hold up.
Please close up the gap.
He's going slow, going slow. Holding him right up here. And we are green flag. Green flag racing. We are away. Rob Carmichael leads the field through turn 1 and turn 2, followed by Troy Maguire, Kobe Jones, Blake Warboys, Logan Barnett, PRA's Paul Young, and the People's Champion Jamie McKnight in 7th. As we look here, we've got Maguire going to the inside, trying to hold out Jones. So interesting move there already. Jones already looking better. Jones will be on the fresher tyres with the heavier fuel load here. So it'll be interesting to see how these fishy boys can hold on with the old tyres versus the new. So whether it was
I'm back, Johnny.
You're back?
Yes.
So what's the gossip, Nath?
The gossip is that those tyres that fell off of our race control's vehicle before were getting in the way of some of our competitors, so I had to go on the course and quickly be a part of the clean-up crew and clean them up for a while. So I think race control is in the they owe me one basket.
So Maguire has lost way to Jones. Got Jones on the fresher tyres here.
I may have just seen a car crash into the wall, Johnny. I could be
Yep,
wrong.
yep. Dylan Sipple.
Race control, can you have a look at that, please?
And Shane Ewan's calling for something.
Will do, mate, will do.
So Rob Carmichael will lead the field as we cross the line to start lap 20. Kobe Jones in
The
second.
Fishy Nugget leading, followed by People Champion number 2.
Yes, Dave. Might just go back with a few comments coming in here. We'll talk about Vets season 10. As we look here with Jones trying to get the pass done on Maguire. Sorry, on Carmichael. So season 10 Vets. Tracks were announced today with some of the rule changes. So we're going back to having waiver rounds, which is a controversial issue, which was discussed great content by the committee last night. But they're back in. Also,
it is interesting watching the vets grow and get larger as time goes on, and some of the developments that are happening with it.
what do you mean? As you get older, you get larger. You get less active. Metabolism slows down. What are you trying to say here, Nathan?
This was one of those great situations where I get myself into I catch myself backpedaling moment, and all I'm going to say is that we're in America, so fried food is definitely on the mind here at the moment.
So Jones has passed Carmichael, Maguire. Now Blake's really got to get his way through these two quickly, as they are out there on the older tyres. We might just jump on board with Logan Barnett and have a watch from the gyro on the roof. A couple of other small incidents. Tyrone Anderson's gone around somewhere in the back of the circuit. So a lot of defence there by Maguire. Sitting to the inside. Logan Barnett comfortably sitting behind Wallboys here.
I wonder if this was to stay green flag racing for the rest of the evening. I wonder if everyone would be able to make it through with just one more pit stop, or if everyone who pitted would need to do 2 pit stops to bring it home if they need a little splash and dash at the end.
I'm wondering whether that might have been the catalyst for the Fishy Boys not pitting. That could be the main scenario there.
There's a huge difference in lap time between the 2 Fishy Boys and Kobe up the front. Kobe has managed to do a 29.4 the last flying lap, and the 2 Fishy Boys behind are doing a 30.3 and 30.0. So massive difference between clear air and behind those 2 Fishy cars at the moment, but Blake's like the shark in the water trying to get past the prey of the school of Fishy Boys.
Of course, as we go further back on Jamie, you can see that is a bit of a Congo line starting to develop. There's Paul Young starting to get onto the back of Barnett, and the People's Champion, McKnight, hanging under the back of this group, with Smart, Whiting and Dengate and McCune also tucked up behind these guys. So we might just go stepping our way back through. So Christian tucked up in behind Jamie. And Michael Whiting in the train as well. This is being very impressive. This is allowing Jones to walk away, of course, but definitely keeping this some close racing.
Yeah, but as we've seen, one safety car can make a huge difference with how it all pans out. So anything's possible still.
And of course, I'd hate to be the guy that does the paint job on Harrison's car.
Yeah, they're certainly going to have a lot of work to do tonight.
Missing a bonnet there, so he's doing well to hang on to these guys in the slipstream.
Yeah, and it's one on that slipstream topic. About the only advantage it gives you around here is that you can save a little bit of fuel. There's not really long enough straights, or it's not a very slipstream dependent kind of circuit around here.
It's definitely getting a bit cutthroat with this group.
Thank you, Kate.
Inside, you can see we've got defending their line down the middle, making it very difficult for Wallboys to set up and overtake. Maguire is blocking very heavily.
I wonder if there's a little bit of teamwork going on here with the 2 Fishy Boys, trying to minimise the damage to one another and hold up that train. I wonder if they're working together to try and play a few tactical moves to keep everyone behind them. Which, if you go on 2-3 in a line like that, that's certainly smart play if they're in each other's ear and trying to minimise the amount that they might get passed by. Certainly very hard for Blake and everyone behind, and yeah, they're really closing up, aren't they, Johnny?
They definitely are. This is really becoming a really tight bunch again. We might just jump back on the far chase view. Paul Young, so we can see the Congo line in front. McKnight tucking in down the bottom there.
8 cars that are in this chain at the moment, and if they keep bunching up like this, there's going to be a further 5 cars at the back. So Michael Stewart's the leader, the next battle pack behind, and they're catching this pack in front.
Not the greatest camera, sorry everybody. The joys of trying to be commentator, director and producer at the same time. Right, just jump back on with Paul Young. Let's look up the road. You see fishy car going far to the right side, blocking the line again. We did mention this is pretty much the genuine main overtaking point of the track.
Yeah, it's not too often that you see much overtaking happening in these parts unless there's either one, a mistake made by a driver to allow another one through, or 2, the guy that's passing is considerably quicker. So not usually till you get down to this the end of the next straight down here that you might even have a bit of a chance at being able to get another pass. And Blake's sizing it up at
Oh, and I've just gone
Throwing
back.
it in
We're
there.
back. Warboys is through on Maguire. What a great move. Not sure why I'm flashing in and out. Touch wood, I'm not
Big
about to lose
move.
my internet. That'll end in tears. So nice pass there by Warboys. Maguire still trying to hang on to the back of Blake. Because this fighting has allowed KB Jones to move out to a 6.4 second lead. It'll be interesting to
Kobe
see.
would certainly be enjoying all this battling going on behind him.
And we've had another little incident. We might just have a look and see what happened to Tyrone Anderson. He's had another spin by the looks. We'll have a quick look and we'll come back to this battle pack. Just deep going into the bus stop complex. There's Warboys still tucked up behind Carmichael. And then we've got Maguire, Barnett, Young and McKnight. So of course this is leaving quite a few cars between Warboys and McKnight for the championship. So as we've talked about in our pre-race show, we talked about the fact that you've got to be careful around here not to throw the car against the wall and throw away your chance of the championship.
There's 3 cars at the moment in between the People's Champion and Blake at the moment, so that will be, it's a fine line for Jamie at the moment, but we do know he's very good at saving fuel, and being caught in the battle pack like this, I'm sure he might be able to leapfrog a car or 2 come the 2nd or even possibly 3rd stop, depending on how this pans out tonight. So it certainly will be interesting to see what he can do, and I'm sure Blake's got as much as he wants to get ahead of Rob and try and chase down Kobe out in front. I'm sure Blake's got part of his mind is on that championship topic as well, and I'm sure he would rather sit behind Rob, and you'd probably agree with me here, Johnny, that you'd rather sit behind him and shape up for your pit stop strategy to work out, as opposed to try and go for a big pass and end up behind Jamie in such a tight circuit like this.
Oh, absolutely. There's still a lot of cars between myself and between Blake and Jamie. Oh, big loose move there from Maguire. And again, this has allowed Warboys to get away.
Might even give Logan a little bit of a look.
And brought Paul Young from PRA right into this battle as well. So this will be interesting. Big shout out to the PRA faithful watching again tonight.
I'm sure all these guys would be concentrating as much as they possibly could. One mistake at the moment and you will get punished big time by it.
Carmichael a bit loose coming out of the corner there. So this is turning into a really great battle again. These guys have really, for the last 10 laps, have been toe-to-toe around here.
Still including Rob and Blake, even though they're pulling away a little bit. This is a 10-car battle at the moment.
Of course, it's allowed Kobe to go out to a 9-second lead. And these fishy boys still haven't pitted as well, which is rather interesting.
Yeah, so...
141, 323, Chris behind car 3.
Whoa, there's Troy.
Well, Troy's around.
That
Will he
was
stay
getting
out of the
worried.
way?
He's getting worried about that one. I think the tyres might be a bit used.
Sorry, was I not right on the apex?
We'll jump back up on Paul.
My screen, it looks like you're understeered slightly, and that's what caused the contact.
So keeping the pressure on Barnett. We can see if these guys can catch up to Warboys and Carmichael quickly. As it looks like Blake's on a move up here. So he might quickly jump up. No, he hasn't got it done.
There's certainly a lot going on at the moment. It's interesting that Rob's choosing such a defensive line and tactics so early on in the race, realistically. Like, yes, we're getting close to the halfway point, but you wouldn't normally expect to see such defensive lines unless what he's got as his plan moving forward to is going to pay off, or if he's going to pit shortly to try and make it a one-stop race, then I guess anything's possible, and there might be some merit in behind what he's doing. But it's certainly interesting watching these two go at it.
Definitely is. I'm expecting Warboys to have another crack down into the straight. It's great to see our faithful watching. Just as we were talking before about the Ford versus Holden battle, they've jumped on board the Albury versus Wodonga battle. Great to see.
It's almost a fiercer rivalry than the Holden versus Ford, isn't it?
Pretty much. And Warboys still didn't get the job done. So Logan catching up slightly now. There's a couple of other little battles through the pack that we've sort of neglected to go to because it's been where the action's been. Surprisingly, Dengate minus in that front bonnet still hanging on in 9th position in this train.
One thing we haven't spoken about too much as well is the hard charger, and I think, if I'm correct, having a quick look-see through, I think it's Ryan Van Ree, gone from 28th up to 18th at this point in time for car number 18.
Nothing to see here, move on.
Yeah, but everyone else is sort of been caught up in something, or some of our early on hard chargers have been caught up in a few incidents, unfortunately.
Looks like Todd Martin has just had a bit of a spin there as we changed out of that shot. So Youngie still hanging on in 4th spot, still in this train.
Toe, please.
And we've had a call for a tow from Dylan Sipple. We might have a quick set up in the dill.
And on that as well, Christian Smart, Ash Barella, and Rob Carmichael have come into the pits as well.
So Carmichael finally coming into the pits on lap 29, maybe anticipating the safety car. Haven't had a call yet from race control, so I'm not sure whether we're going to have one. There it is.
There it is, safety
there it
car
is.
number 3 for the evening. This could work out in these boys' favour.
It could.
There you go. Not even at halfway, and we've had safety car number 3. I could be on for a 5-car safety car.
So we might just go for a quick replay of what's happened again. This is a quick replay of the accident that's brought out the safety car. One of the boys deciding to drive over the top.
Okay, safety car halfway down the straight. Copy.
So I wonder, will these front runners pit again for a top up and some fresh tyres, or are they going to stay out?
Still got 36 laps. These boys would probably be about half a tank to track where fresh tyres help. But overtaking is difficult, so it's a difficult one to say which way I would play this, to be honest, Nath.
Yeah, so you would have to be relying on a couple of safety cars, which could be a big unfalling if you were to try and make it home from now through till the end. So we saw the fish with 28 laps and 29 laps, but yeah, I don't think at this point, with that 36 laps to go, that you'd be able to do it.
I don't think you'd be able to do it either, to be honest, mate. I personally think, you know, if you were in the top 10 here or top 15, I would stay out, and if I was in the back 15, you'd go in because you got nothing to lose. That would probably be my strategy. So where I normally race in the pack, I'd be going in. No, Dave, you don't have to type anything about that.
Mark's with our safety car bingo. Mark reckons he's on the money with the 3 safety cars, so it'll be interesting to see if we make it through anymore. And for anyone watching, if you want to join in on our safety car bingo for the evening, I reckon on lap 40, Johnny, what do you reckon? That'll we'll close off the
numbers. Yep.
Yeah, lap 40 will be our cut-off for bingo to lock in the final numbers for the evening. So you've still got 10 laps to get your answers in.
As we just watch, there's the parked car there, Blair squeezing past it. So good to see Blair in the correct paint and in the Commodore tonight, not in the Falcon. So if you're watching Claire, he's got it right.
David, likewise with you.
So someone take a screenshot of this. And the car's looking clean as well. He's been doing real good to keep it looking all shiny still at this point in the race.
Considering he was on his roof earlier.
Yeah, the pit stops crew have done a fantastic job at keeping that roof and rear wing straight.
Race control, did you see that?
I will have a look.
Oh, something going on with Paul Young there, I'm not sure.
He's
Another turn to my position.
caught up in something under the safety car there.
Yeah, hang on, it's going through SDK. Go to the replay. What's happened to Paul Young here? Oh! Oh, Shane Ewens.
Yeah.
Shane Ewens into the back. I might just see if I can show that again.
Yeah, unfortunately not, Paul. We do have a rule that, what happens on track, unfortunately can't change much.
Oh. Looks like McKnight's been tapped in there as well.
Yeah, that's
just going to go...
I don't know how we can safety car under a safety car. That's an interesting one.
Just going to go back here. Trying to find Shane. Let's have a look here from that, whether McKnight's been tapped in there as well. I reckon McKnight's got the tap. Bearing in mind McKnight's season has really been based around the fact that he gets the 0x and gets the bonus points. Yep, definitely a tap from McKnight. That could be a game changer for the championship.
Yeah, if there's a few bonus points that are caught up on here. That's now that we're coming to the pointy end where every single point is crucial. It's could be a huge talking point as we get to the final stages.
Because as for those following along at home may or may not be aware of it, this series does run bonus points for 0x. I think you get 5 points. So that 5 points for a 0x, for those bonus points for a 0x, means that you can jump up the grid a little bit. If you finish sort of in the top 4 or 5, you can wind up pushing yourself up 1 or 2 spots, which Jamie is synonymous for doing. So that could hurt the championship title here, which is rather interesting.
But out of all the races, I reckon that he would be holding high standards and high hopes of keeping that 0x in his favour. I think he would almost assume that he would maybe lose out on tonight.
Roy Clark makes a very good comment that Jamie should have been on the other side of the track, given the cars are unlapping each other. So in other words, race control would have asked cars to stay to the left side. So yeah, this is going to be rather interesting, I think.
Certainly been an eventful race so far, and I don't know. I've been caught out by this before by calling it too early, but it could be an interesting second half.
Could be. It's hard to believe only 32 laps out of 66 gone.
Yeah, we're not quite at halfway yet either.
And I've just been reminded that Sir James Chastaneuf didn't show up tonight. He was listed on the back of the grid.
Oh, that's
So
it's very interesting. That is.
hey, we've 2 races to go before Bathurst. So if you're watching at home and you want to do the Bathurst 500, you can still enter the East Coast Series and do 2 races. Do next week at Sebring, followed by Imola the week after. But no, Chasty throwing out the challenge, mate.
You've teased us, Chasty, with your name being there and being a rear of grid. So the challenge has certainly been put out, mate. So it's I'm very curious to see what you can do and see if you can get near a James Scott level of trying to lap the whole entire field.
No, and we sent poor Nath off for elocution lessons to try and get pronunciation of the surname correct.
It's there were some interesting lessons, they were, Johnny. Certainly had many different tongue twister words. It was like a Rubik's Cube for pronunciation, it was.
As the safety car should be going away from the field as we come out of the bus stop complex here. We are looking to go green flag racing shortly. In what has been an epic battle. And we might just have a quick recap. So we've got Kobe Jones out in front, Black Wall Boys in second, Barnett third, McKnight has moved into fourth, so the big winner out of the Fishy Boys going out, and Paul Young's incident. Michael Whiting in fifth, Harrison Dengate up 7 spots into sixth, so a great outcome there for Harrison. Scotty McCune up in the 7th, Frank Hodak 8th, and Nathan Loveridge in 9th, and 10th we've got Nathan Gore. As Richie Barella puts it in pit lane again. And we hand the field back over to Kobe Jones.
And will he go as early as what he did last time? So far the answer's no.
We're away.
And he's away.
Green flag racing. So
Will we make it through cleanly? Blake's had a pretty good restart behind, hasn't lost too much time at all. So everyone seems to be filtering through quite well. Good to see, no chaos as of yet, but anything is possible. I think we've all made it through turn 1 and 2, no dramas at all, so.
Some great green flag racing to get us going again. Oh, you spoke too soon. Toddy Martin's gone around, I believe.
Cold tyres on a bumpy track, that'll certainly do it.
Yeah, I know, mate. I've still got 8 minutes written up. That's what we're prepared to do.
Dylan Zippel also has had an off track as well. And Paul Young has already passed Ryan Van Ree and Nathan Cook to beat himself up into P17. So Youngie's on the move already, trying to recover from that incident.
He's certainly trying to chip his way back up forward, so that does knock Ryan just out of the equal contenders for Hard Charger award. But at this point in time it is... Ooh, I've just lost him.
Nicholas Loveridge or Darren Crosby, I think, mate.
Yeah, Darren Crosby up. He's up 10 spots as well, and yeah, Nicholas Loveridge up 10. So we had a three-way for our Hard Charger. So that'll be a whole new topic that I don't know if we've got that much room in the comms box post race if they keep this up, Johnny.
Just got to say, Blake Wallboys just did a purple sector for sector 1 on the last lap, or on this lap, sorry.
He's doing a very similar time to Kobe, and I reckon Blake will be doing everything he can to get towards that lead. So now that he's got some clear air, Blake, we can finally on lap 34 we can see what he can do.
Big slide there from Jones. Just shows the amount of pressure these boys are under. They're throwing everything at it at the moment.
Race control, check the it out, please?
Got
Yeah, we'll have a look, mate.
Andrew Archer caught up in it, and currently just sitting in the tyre barriers there, and Nathan Cook.
Let's
A
have a
little bit of
look.
an incident further down the pack.
Let's go to the Dirty Pig replay here. Oh, Andrew Archer getting squeezed. Youngie coming past. Gets caught on the grass and doesn't end well. So that's what's happened to Andrew Archer there, Nath. And the other one you talked about was, oh, not enough room in there, the old false wall. And stuck in the tyres. Yep. And Nathan Cook was the other one you mentioned. We'll have a quick look at Nathan.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they were all intertwined or not. There was just a few cars I saw floating around.
Whoa, big dive. Oh! Not sure who the hypersonic car was there. Jason Dibadito. That was a dive and a half. That's almost what you'd call a brake failure.
It's yeah, it's the there we go. 3 different incidents that I thought was all the same incident.
Yeah.
That's certainly.
As we go back to live pictures, keep an eye on these boys up the front still. That's some very tough racing going on there.
Interestingly though, up the front, how you said Blake did the purple. Blake did a 29.1 that last lap, and we had Kobe did a 29.2. So Blake ever so slowly creeping back in on Kobe there. So it'll be interesting to see what they manage to do at the end of this lap. But then also just behind as well, Logan also doing a 29.2. So Logan and Kobe on very similar pace. McKnight all the way back on a 1 minute 30.0. So I wonder if he's fuel saving, trying to play the pit stop strategy.
Let's jump on board with Jamie and have a look. We might just jump on and have a listen to the sounds of a lap with McKnight.
Post race penalty, car 028 for incident with car 43 on lap 34.
There we go. I don't know if having a good listen to Jamie on the way around on that lap. Then I don't know if he's fuel saving or not. So he seems to be pushing on pretty hard. He was a bit off that lap with the 31.0. So a little bit slower compared to the guys around him. Michael Whiting behind has pulled in a bit, but Logan, Blake, and Kobe up the front have pulled away on him.
Broken keep going, dude.
It's rather interesting there. Like, we've got another request for tow coming in. Very interesting. It sounds like Jamie's sort of taking it fairly easy though, looking after it. And there it is.
Safety car.
That
Safety
changes
car
it.
number 4.
Exit on the left side.
Well, I might say, look what happened to Frank Hodak here. He's the car we got told was stopped. Rob Carmichael coming down the inside into turn 1. A slight tap. And another one. Oh. That didn't end well. This is Frank's found the concrete. Welcome to the jungle. The concrete jungle of Bel Air. Might just watch that one again from another camera.
Everyone has, whilst doing that, Johnny, everyone's been diving into the pits, so all of our leaders, Shane Newens has stayed out, although he's catching up on a few extra laps. Kobe, Blake, Logan have all come into the pits.
Yep,
Paul
so
Young from PRA stayed out, Tony Maguire, Tim Nicol.
Got to be done on the green flag, brother.
I'm not sure what's going on there.
Tim 023, please slow down. You are the effective race leader. Slow down, let the next car back through.
Cue the Benny Hill music.
Yeah, so, sorry, I was just watching what was going on near the front there. I don't think Timmy Nicol realised that he was the actual effective race leader, so after Blake, Kobe and a number of the lead pack coming in, I actually, sorry, on an interesting fact as well, there's a lot that's going on. Jamie McKnight has stayed out.
McKnight stayed out.
Yeah, McKnight stayed out, and a number of cars around him from that sort of pack have stayed out as well. But yeah, Logan, Blake and Kobe have all managed to come into the pits.
And get out before McKnight. So I've got Kobe in 7, Warboys in 8 at the moment. So let's just go up. We've got Timmy Nichols, Troy,
Everyone please stay
Put Youngie,
72.
Darren Crosby, Michael Stewart. Good to see the Mark Peck flexing away there in 6th spot. Up 20 spots is our hard charger at the moment. And then I've got Kobe Jones in 7, Warboys in 8, Barnett 9, Tyrone Anderson up 22 spots.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Are we allowed to overtake under safety?
And we've got Rob Carmichael in 11th, Jamie McKnight in 12th.
I'm sorry.
I got overtaken.
By Jamie?
Yeah, there's
Because he was ahead of you with the blue cane on pit exit.
there's plenty going on with these lap cars getting one lap back, which is good. Being able to bring them back into contention, but there's certainly plenty of shuffling going on, and there's certainly plenty of action happening at the moment throughout the field. So, it might take a lap or two for it all to sort itself out, but I'm sure race control will be all over it and have us underway in no time.
Ben Anthony, of course, race control tonight, along with
611.
Richie Morella in the safety car. So, of course, we talked about Ben Anthony's driving before, so we might just have another bit of a sketch here of
At the restart,
Ben, the wheels falling off again.
Yeah, as we go green.
No, hats off to the safety car team and the race control. Not the easiest job in the world.
I can't believe the fuck he's got to drive to. I mean, he's one of the
And I would probably have to say that doing race control is probably harder than commentating.
Yeah, it's a certainly quite an interesting drive for them. I wouldn't want to be the mechanics on their cars though, but after watching a couple of those incidents that the race control have had whilst driving, but what they do behind the scenes and what they do in these sorts of situations and tracks like this, certainly hats off to them.
What was that, Nicholas?
No hire Jamie, it's my lawyer.
Well, you'll probably win the case because the judge might just rule in your favour to shut him up.
And we might just pause that. And lap 39, I've lost count of number of safety cars. I think this is our 4th, I think.
Yeah, we're up to number 4 at the moment, so I don't think anyone's chimed in on number 4 at the moment, so it could fall through our bingo system. However, we have got one more until the end of this lap before our bookies close for safety car bingo. So if anyone wants to jump in with a number 4 or a number 6 or even a number 10 if you're feeling really ambitious, jump on in and I'll keep a mental note, and you'll get nothing but a good chat about chicken nuggets and possibly even a conversation from Jamie McKnight if he manages to make his way into the into our booth post race. So
Richard Varela taking off from the pack here. Let's see if Richie can get her back in the box with all the panels straight as he dives in pit lane. Does it again. I don't know how these vets guys keep stacking these safety cars. As looks like we are green flag already.
Troy's gone nice and early, he has.
Definitely has. And Paul Young sitting in second spot, up 2 spots here. And Michael Stewart in third. So of course the safety car has put everyone a little bit out of alignment. As we can see, Pecky coming under a lot of pressure in the background there from Jones and Warboys. Jones getting through, Warboys getting through. Barnett looks like he's going to get through there as well.
Yeah, I think they've all got through pretty cleanly and safely there.
So of course Maguire was the part of the fishy cork before, running a completely different strategy to our I don't know what you'd call them, to our supposed race leader in Jones and Warboys. So I'd be interested to see how this strategy pays out now as we come in with only 26 laps to go and potentially more safety cars.
Yeah, because that could be a huge that could be a huge contributing factor for the rest of this evening. It could be the safety cars. So an alternate strategy might actually be the one that gets up and in front to take the glory this evening. So anything's possible to go. Lap 40 ticked over, so our bookies for the safety car bingo have officially closed.
Michael Brown going with 10. It's a very bold call.
It's certainly not a track that we were anticipating on getting away with any incidents for at the moment. You go, Roy Clark's gone lucky number 7 safety cars, so a few big calls going on for the safety car bingo at the moment.
Someone's got to get the nuggets. As Blair Van Rees had a crash in the background there, we might quickly jump and have a look, see what's going on. Make sure it could be potentially our next safety car. Oh, I've lost control. Where is he? He's come in. Oh, he's just got caught there in the back end. Unfortunately, Jason Dibadito, I think, might have been late to the party on that. What's happened to Jason here?
Joshy's gone all out with our safety car one of 12 safety cars, he reckons. So we'll note that one down as well.
Yes, we might jump back to live pictures now. So Paul Young from PRA sitting in second spot. 0.8 of a second back from Troy Maguire. And a nice 1.3 second gap back to Kobe Jones. Warboys 0.6 back, and Barnett still 0.3 to 0.4 seconds behind Warboys. I don't think he's been much further away from that all night, to be honest.
Certainly very close, and I'm very curious to see, and I'm just wondering how far will these, again we'll call it the quick pack, the Blake and the Kobe's, how far will they go on this tank? Will they, if there is another safety car, will they be doing everything right now to assume that there's going to be another safety car and see how long their tank will last for, or will they just be going all in and just seeing how the cookie crumbles?
Oh, I think you've got to play the old cookie cutter here, and with Warboys and Jones and Barnett and McKnight all on fresher tyres. I think Young and Maguire would have to be hoping for another safety car, and hope that these other boys behind are losing their tyres or close on their fuel numbers and go in with them.
Because when we went back to green on around that lap 40 mark, 26 laps to be able to bring it home. It's after what we saw the Fishy boys do. It could quite possibly be a case that maybe they could get home on that tank of fuel and on that set of tyres. Like, it would be a big ask of the tyres, but mathematically, from what we've seen this evening, safety cars and everything, it could be a strong possibility.
It could be. As Kobe Jones pulls on the move on Paul Young. War Boys trying to size up to go with. And Frank Hodak's had another off-track, another incident. I'm not sure. We'll come back to that one in a minute. So War Boys looking for the move here. Logan Barnett 0.3 seconds behind still. McKnight's dropped back to 2.5 seconds behind these guys. Jamie's doing the mental Larko arithmetics. And it's probably worked out. Save a bit of fuel now. Might pay off at the end.
Yeah, certainly quite could. If we go green the rest of the way, I was talking earlier on in the race about let's see how stop one goes for the potential undercut. You've got to take a gamble as to will the undercut actually work or not, because we haven't had enough green flag racing to see if it'll work. Almost every pit stop has been made under a yellow flag condition.
It's a real intriguing race. Still getting quite a few incidents with some of the back markers. A few accidents, so I'm not going to be surprised if we do see another safety car. As I've got a feeling Tyrone Anderson was off track again. Difficulty stopping. Ash Barella with a drive-through for exceeding 20 points. Poor old Ash caught up in that lap 1 incident as well, so that probably has hurt the points as well. So every time you have an accident, it's worth 4 points on your incident points. So a couple of accidents and all of a sudden you've maxed out.
Yeah, or even sometimes if you're caught up in a big enough accident where maybe you get hit or hit someone and then bounce off a wall and then get hit again, it doesn't count as just the 1 4X, it can count as multiple incidents according to iRacing, so you could quite easily get up to 12 incidents just from one simple accident. So certainly could be hurting some of them as they get to the closer closing stages of this race.
So the old J-Dibs gets a drive-through for exceeding 20 points as well. So a big shout out to our Hypersonic Racing fans. This is starting to shape up to be an epic finish in this last 21 laps.
Yeah, no, one thing that we have we failed to mention, but we've sort of been watching as well, is that Kobe Jones has managed to get out.
Oh, Youngie, big! Oh, Paul Young on the large bump that we talked about in our pre-race show as you come through turn 2 up over the bridge of the canal. Paul Young loses it there and just manages to scrape the wall to keep it straight.
Oh, wow, that's from his point of view, you would quite happily take a just a little wall tap there.
Darren Crosby and Andrew Archer involved in an incident. We'll have a look what's happened to Cros.
Wow, that safety car.
Oh.
Did I hear that right, Johnny? Have we got
a
safety car?
That's why. That will be it. Darren Crosby. Todd Martin's been involved in one as well. We'll have a quick g'day to Toddy. Toddy looks like he's running a little bit slow. Maybe he's had an engine blow. Oh, that's not good there for the Scorpion Esports. Big shout out to Mick Rush, another man who has the fun job of painting that one back together. Feel for you. Oh, someone's smoking in the background there as well. Not sure who that was. Go back to live pictures. Richie Barella on track. Poor old Richie getting more laps than anyone else tonight. So We were
our
talk-
safety car might be valid to get to qualify for some actual points tonight.
And Youngie's gone in, Stewart's gone in, McCune's gone in, Troy Maguire has stayed out. So it's getting very interesting up near the front as Jones picks up the safety car. So good.
Here's a quick question for you, Johnny. Would you
Yep.
pit right now if you were in the lead pack? If you were Blake or Kobe,
No,
would you try and pit now and make it home?
no,
No?
no.
What's your reasonings behind that?
Reasoning behind that is that if I'm running with those two, I'm on a different. There goes my keyboard. I'm on a different fuel strategy to Maguire. I know that Jones is where I'm running competitively with, and Barnett's running with me. McKnight's running with me on the same strategy. So I wouldn't go and dump myself out of this group, and then looking at the track map, wouldn't dump myself out of this group. I'd probably be coming back in about P11. So then you
Definitely some valid logic there, and
Yeah.
one that I reckon all of them are on the same wavelength with.
yeah, because I think if you came back out in P11, there's a few cars you've got to get around. There's a few of these boys are on a slightly different strategy. Some of these guys may have enough fuel to get to the end. The likes of McKnight, you know, are saving fuel. No. Jamie, very good at saving fuel, looking after tyres. That's why they call him the People's Champion, because he knows how to save fuel and get the job done. And big shout out. What's Dave got saying here? I can't quite read that one from Dave. I see there is no shout out Scorpion Esports. Just kidding. No, big shout out to Mickey Rush, Dave. We all love Mick. Mick does a fantastic job doing all the paints and looking after the boys at Scorpion Esports. And for those who don't know at home, Dave Baldock and Mick Rush are the two carrots I chase every Thursday night in Vets. Usually I hope that Mick can do more than 3 laps. That's the catch. Big shout out to Steve Kennedy from Hypersonic as well, watching along. So poor Richie Barella, I hope he's been paid twice the amount of money.
Yeah, the Porsche he's been driving is probably going to need a double up service by the end of the race. I don't think it's seen this many laps all series.
Well, it's going to have done 11 laps by the time it gets back across the stripe.
Certainly a number of laps that he's had to come out for this evening. Sure, he's almost earned himself a decent beverage or a decent, at least a 10-pack of nuggets, I reckon, by the end of this evening, Johnny.
And I did
The amount
notice.
of laps he's done.
I did notice as well that Richie's name came up on the race control comms as well. So double duties tonight for Richie. So I'm definitely going to go with the fact that the wheels have fallen off at race control if Richie's on the comms.
Yeah, they're. I'm sure they've got their work cut out for them tonight.
Definitely, we might just recap that turn 1 incident again that's brought out the safety car. Definitely having fun here in the concrete jungle of Detroit.
Jumping on board and listening to a few of them as they're going around, there's certainly some hardcore fuel saving going on with some of them, which is to be expected. So you either want to be able to try and make it home on this last tank that you got, or in theory it should only be one more pit stop coming up if we were to see another pit stop.
And it looks like Richie's putting the pedal to the metal. Safety car clearing out. We're about to go green flag racing again, as we have 19 laps left. Make that 18 when we cross the stripe. Richie back in. onto Kobe. Kobe Jones holding the field here as we wait for it, wait for it, wait for it.
And
Green
he's
flag
going.
racing.
All of them have managed to do a. All of them managed to do a pretty good restart, panning on through here.
It's interesting. McKnight having a little bit of a look there on Barnett. As we head down Central Avenue.
But Blake's having a bit of a look. And
Big dive
Blake's
from all boys. Can he get the job done?
pulling the trigger. Plenty of room from both there.
Nice and clean.
From a championship point of view, that puts 2 cars now between our 2 main men, between Jamie and Blake.
Carmichael on the blower, so not sure
Jamie,
what's happened
big
there.
dive. Harrison, big dive. Yeah, wow. They're all going too wide through here.
Let's jump back here. There's got a big 3 wide going down here as we come down the Strand into the bus stop.
Gets very interesting very quickly.
Oh, this is not a good spot to be too deep. Oh, in the water, Barnett. Barnett bounced off the wall there, which has allowed Dengate
Jamie.
McKnight past.
Yeah.
And Nicholas Loveridge, sorry, Nathan Gore, is it? Sorry? Yeah, Nicholas Loveridge also getting involved there, pushing Barnett back again. Still too wide in the background there, and someone spun further back at the start of the bus stop.
Yeah, they're all getting a little bit argy-bargy through here. Christian's coming up. Nathan Gore certainly keeping the elbows up. Oh, Christian, big slide. They're all, I think they've settled themselves out now, but that was certainly a big one for holding your breath through there. I wasn't even driving and I was holding my breath watching these guys all make their way through.
Oh, someone's off the background. It looks like Ryan Van Ree, I think.
Oh, big spin for our potential hard charger there for Ryan.
Trying to get it all going again. Coming slow, it's going to be under a lot of pressure. This is some big elbows out as we go through the mid-pack.
Yeah, they're all... Our leaders are sort of skipping away a little bit here, but yeah, we've got Blake, we've got Troy, then we've got Jamie and young Harrison. So our top 3 in the championship are all getting pretty close in this race. But this mid-pack, they're not worrying about their championship. They're all just trying to get the best finish they possibly can.
Definitely got their elbows out. If we go back to that mid-battle, you got Smart right up behind Nathan Gore now. And then we have Whiting, McCune, Nichols, Young. So Paul Young down 9 spots at the moment. Tyrone Anderson's towed back to the pits. I'm not sure what's happened there. This group here, all of them fighting for the last couple of spots they can get.
Yeah,
16 laps to go.
Another huge freight train behind as well of Whiting, Brian Van Ree, David Garbutt, Nathan Cook, Blair Van Ree, Mark Peck, and Frank Hodak, and then Dylan Sipple to close off that little battle pack there as well, even though Dylan's a number of laps down. But that's this last safety car, everyone's taken a good get up of go-go juice, and they're all trying to do the best to bring it home. Come home with the bacon, as they say, Johnny.
Definitely some big elbows out. As Paul Young there just about gets a love tap from Timmy Nichols. So Christian doing really well in 11th. Scotty McCune in 10th. Up the road we've got Whiting and Gore in 9th and 8th. Then we're a further 3 seconds up the road to Logan Barnett. He sort of got caught out in the 3 wide battle we had earlier. So Logan trying to pick up onto the back of Nicholas Loveridge. And then in front of Nicholas we've got Harrison Dengate. So Harrison doing really well considering he would be getting some disadvantage because of the aero with the missing bonnet on the car, which he's basically had for most of the race.
H is managing at the moment to be doing nearly identical lap times to the People's Champion in front of him, so Certainly a very, very good effort from him, but the other, as we were talking about from a championship point of view, once again we have our top three all in such close contention of one another, so certainly shaping up to be quite close moving forward.
And Logan
Jamie
just
got past.
Yeah, Jamie's got past Troy Maguire now, so Jamie's moved into third. So our championship now goes into second and third place. And Nicholas Loveridge just lost out to Logan Barnett, so Logan fighting his way back up. But if we have a look at Maguire and McKnight, still a very close battle here. We had a couple of little incidences going on with Nathan Gore and Dylan Sipple and Shane Ewens. We'll just keep our eyes up the front here at the moment. So don't forget that Troy Maguire was the driver running it.
Car. Sorry, we've got a car on its roof. Shane Ewens.
Shane Ewens.
Safety car number 6 for the evening. Holy moly.
As we just go here, we jump on the replay, the Dirty Pig replay. Have a look what happened to Ewens. Whoa! Frank Hodak. Oh, Dylan, I think it was Hodak. Whoa! Poor Shane. We might just jump back on that one there. And we'll go on the nose. Oh, you can almost class that as an unsafe rejoin.
Yeah, that's
And that's black.
that will be an interesting one for race control to view there. But yeah, you're this safety car bingo certainly it's almost becoming as a hotly contended topic as what it is as to how our race is going for all the lads out here.
And just while I run to the safety car, Nath, I'll get you just to talk up the circuit for me for a minute, mate, as we just go to the track map for a second.
Yeah, well, it's as we've seen through. It's one thing I probably should have done throughout the evening would have been paying attention to where each of the safety cars have been managing to show their way through this evening. But the last couple have come through that turn 1, turn 2 chicane, and usually you see a lot of it occur when there's a race restart going on, but all the boys have been very well behaved. It sort of seems to be I'll call it normal racing when a lot of those incidents have been happening, but a lot of the big passing and big manoeuvres that we've seen going on have been through turn 3 and turn 7 there, which had certainly been to be expected though. They're the only spots to get ahead of someone, so even if you don't have the run, you certainly want to be doing your best to be able to try and do the dive bomb and get that position back. So we could, being at lap 52 of 66, we could quite easily be on for a 7-car safety car evening tonight. I reckon Roy might almost be on the money here.
It could be. So looking back through here, the longest stint we had was 29 laps of Michael Stewart. So we can get 29 laps out of the car. So the boys have done 14, so there's another 15 laps. Based on my recollection, we've got another 14 laps to go, so I think everyone should be right for fuel. I think. That's my guess, looking at that.
Considering that we're going for another lap of safety car here, I reckon you could quite easily be on the money here, Johnny. If we get one more safety car again, then most certainly everyone will be able to bring it home.
As apologies for going to the track map, SDK not playing the game as I like it tonight.
Yeah, it was certainly quite a fun challenge there, being on the spot to keep it going. But as we've seen a number of times, the IT side of things and iRacing and our little add-on applications that we have to assist us with all this sort of stuff, sometimes they've got a different idea as to what playing ball is. So we wing it, we make go with it, and we're getting quite a decent number of you viewers all coming back each week, which is fantastic. So we got to be doing something right, Johnny.
And big shout out to Daniel Norris, who's joined us as well. which is good to see. And I just didn't want to be that guy that did the old alt tab and the space bar and brought up all the iRacing functions and everything else. I just thought that might look a little bit more professional. Probably not. Who are we kidding, Nathan? If you're following along at home under the safety car, jump on and tell us how we're going. Help.
Yeah, well, that's an answer to your question, Joshy. We're up to 6 safety cars at the moment, mate. So I thought when I threw out number 5 earlier this evening, I thought I was just simply being silly and just having a bit of a laugh. But now that we're up to number 6, it's apparently it was quite a realistic guess.
Oh, Richie Barella is on lap 13 at the moment. So he's completed 12 laps tonight. And I have to probably ask the question, is Ben paying him double time?
Yeah, he's
After
with Melbourne Cup here as well, double time plus public holiday rates. It could be an expensive night for race control. Richie could be lapping it up.
Let's jump back on board. Looks like Richie's got it back in the pit safe and sound. Top job, Richie Barella. And Cody now has control of the field as he holds him up, and he's away. We are green flag racing.
Blake managed to get a pretty good jump behind. Jamie got a fantastic jump staying behind, and Young H as well. They've all managed to get quite a decent restart for everyone.
And of course, ignoring our race leader, this is his first race in the series, we have P1, P2 and P3 of the series in a row.
That's you wouldn't read about it, would you? This is just proving how high the standard of competition and how high the standard is of our championship. For these 3 boys to all be 1, 2, 3 at the moment, it's absolutely fantastic. For Blake to keep putting it up the front week in, week out. Jamie managing to stay near that pointy end and gain where he can. Young H,
big twitch
showing
there.
even with his that little mistake there, but even with his youth at the moment to be able to keep it up near the front, fantastic to see these guys. Oh, and who's that? Logan just went a little bit deep when going in with that battle for H there. He's filtering in quite nicely, going side by side with Rob. Say there's a few guys that are falling a little bit of a victim at the moment, so cold tyres and worn out tyres too. So like you said, they've done a number of laps.
Might just drop back a little bit here. As you can see, you've got Loveridge, Whiting and McCune. Paul Young's worked his way back up to 8th after that incident earlier under the safety car. So that's a good fight back by Youngie. Mark Dial reckons I should move up to the red P plates now, Nath, so we'll take that as a vote of confidence.
Yeah, it's I think we're slowly getting there, Johnny. It's slowly but surely. Here's a big one. How many viewers have we got tonight, Johnny? How many are watching in?
We've got 13 at the moment.
It's a nice solid double-digit number. I like that. Thank you to all 13 viewers that are watching. It certainly makes our Tuesday nights more entertaining, and not going to lie, I don't know about you, Johnny, but there's sometimes I forget that there are 13 to 20 odd people that watch each night, so thank you for listening to us ramble on.
Of course, Nathan dropping the bombshell on me this evening that he may have pre-season sporting commitments on Tuesday nights next season. So we may be on the lookout for a 3rd team member. Oh, accident in the background there. Is that Christian? It's Christian. Christian Smart. What's happened?
Oh dear. I'm not sure. I missed that, Johnny.
This is coming a bit hot.
Showing up.
Oh, coming a bit hot. Hit the tyre wall. That's not good. And Pecky's had an incident as well. We might have a quick look what happened to Pecky while I'm trusting the race control thing to come back on. So good to see Mark Peck. Oh, just a bit second hand. Looks like Pecky's been flexing a fair bit of muscle tonight. The car's a bit bent as we go back to the race leaders. So War Boys 1.7 behind, McKnight 2 seconds further back. Harrison Dengate keeping the pressure on McKnight.
Just shows how easy it is around here to have a little mistake and get caught up. To get caught up in an incident around here. So very, very demanding track to say the least.
It is. Tough gig.
But yeah, so like you were saying, other sporting commitments may have me stitched up, but that is still to be confirmed. It might just be a pre-season thing, or it might be an ongoing thing. So some of you will hooray and cheer at the fact that you don't get to hear my voice, and I can't think of anyone that would be sad to not hear my voice, to be honest, Johnny.
Nah, it's been good, mate. It's been good, and I'm hoping we can keep it going, but we'll see. Definitely building a fan base anyway, so
might make finding a pit reporter a little bit easier though, depending on how it goes. So we've had no luck tonight finding anyone in the no chicken nugget makers have been able to get any time off to be able to join us in the pit lane tonight. But I'm sure that there might be, we'll keep the search out, we'll keep the ads up on Seek, we might find someone in the upcoming weeks. So keep your ears peeled, Johnny.
Definitely will. And interesting, we've got a few more boys now starting to get penalties for exceeding 20 incident points. And a lovely move we just saw there from Scotty McKeon from HRS, getting past Nicholas Loveridge. So Nicholas is our hard charger at the moment, up 12 spots.
Very good spot to be in, 19th up to 6th place. He'll be getting a decent chunk of points out of tonight. Though the battle isn't over yet, he's certainly got a few people around him. Rob Carmichael looking to take one out of his hard charger award here.
So Dylan Sipple also going 20 incident points.
At some of the lap times that these front boys are pumping out, I reckon that they're all pretty safe on fuel. They must be, because none of them seem to be really fuel saving or taking any weight off of that right foot when going down the straight.
Definitely not. Just looking at the last lap times for Jones was a 129.53, War Boys a 129.92, McKnight a 130.43. Dengate a 130.42 and Whiting a 130.29. So these boys are definitely, considering how old their tyres would be now, definitely got their foot on the pedal and going quite well.
And before we know it, we're all the way up to lap 58. So we've got less than 10 laps to go, and we all seem to be, dare I say it, don't want to commentators to curse it, but we all seem to be getting into a little bit of a groove and a rhythm here at the moment.
Definitely is. It's starting to settle down a bit as we've got 8 laps to go. So KB Jones out to a 2.3 lead from War Boys. McKnight a further 2.9 back. So the battles are really starting to dry up. Everyone's sort of spread out by a second or two now, except for the Carmichael Loveridge battle, which we might drop back into. Very second-hand looking cars out there, Nath.
Yeah, there's I don't think that there's one car that would have a straight panel on it at the moment. I think all of them have got at least a little bit of a hit or a scrape somewhere along the panel work.
Of course, we even saw Mr. 0X McKnight get involved in an incident this evening. Not quite his fault, but as some of the spectators pointed out, he's supposed to keep left under the safety car, and he was to the right of the circuit at the time. And I'm probably going to get crucified on Thursday night for bringing that back up.
Looking at some of the panels that are missing, I think a lot of the cars as well might be struggling to make the weight limits, the minimum weight requirements as the evening goes on.
Paul Young's back in the pits, so I'm not sure whether he didn't have enough fuel. That's a bit disappointing for Youngie, so I'm not sure what's happened there.
Because he was on a little bit of an alternate strategy, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. He was in the end, due to the fact he had to pit because of that other incident under the safety car. So
he's going to go a lap down, which is unfortunate for him. But if the leaders pit, I'm sure he'll be in the box seat to have a late charge.
Of course, we go to the pit strategy. The leaders have done 22 laps on this stint, and we do know we can get 29 laps out of the car. So rather interesting to see, with the fact we only have 6 laps to go, so it's going to be very tight still. But we have had a lot of safety cars tonight.
That's I did, when I read that first comment coming in there, Dave, of you shedding a tear, I was a little bit touched, and then I very quickly went, nah, it's got to be too good to be true. So that's I don't think there will be any tear shedding at all.
Of course, Dave Galley is watching us at the moment. Busy in training, preparing himself for season 10 of Vets.
Yeah, it's it'll be good to see Dave out and about, having a bit of a steer himself. So certainly looking forward to bringing another car into the team. And here our paint man's been busy whipping up another paint for him as well.
Yeah, one's been done.
I'm sure it'll be all will be revealed in due course, won't it, Johnny?
Definitely will be. I think it's already been put out to the public. And I can hear all the PRA boys going, what, another WK&P car in Vets?
We've almost got enough cars out there, we can nearly run our own split, couldn't we? The WK&P split of Vets. That's certainly good to see everyone and see the teams expanding and getting more people on board. The more the merrier, as they say.
Well, of course, the WK&P boys have all been basically built around a go-karting team, so more of the merrier getting involved from the team, which is good to see. Of course, Dave, the brains behind WK&P race engines.
Certainly, if you have a question about a go-kart motor, he's certainly a man to ask a question about. So, a lot of us like hopping in and driving. Dave certainly knows how to get all of them out and about and working well. Every little bit out of a motor. But on a side note, Ryan Van Ree has come to a stop.
I'm just seeing whether he's just getting out of the way of the race leaders. I might just jump to the replay and just see. I think he was just getting out of the way of the leaders, I think, mate.
Yeah, lap down. That's a safe spot to pull over. Nice slow part of the track. Yeah, and he's pulling away now. So very well played. Very smart by Ryan there.
Paul Young's had an incident though. What's happened to Youngie? Just cooked it coming down the back stripe part of the strand. A few boys have been caught out there tonight, unfortunately. As we come back on with our race leader, KB Jones.
I think we're up to safety car 6 at the moment. We are, Roy. So not quite there at the 7. We've split hairs at the moment, but we've still got 6 laps to go. And as we've seen, anything's possible at any point in time. So certainly wouldn't be assuming that there'd be no more safety car between here and the end of the race, especially now that our leaders are starting to have to battle with some lap traffic. So
out of our top 10, the closest battle we've got at the moment is Dengate and McKnight. So young Harrison doing really well in the damaged Commodore.
Yeah, and we've still got, with our championship thing, we're still at second, third, fourth, is still 1, 2, 3 in the championship for this race versus what's going on there. So they're certainly not pulling away from one another. The gaps will be very tight heading into next round if it stays like this towards the end of the race.
Yes, Dave, I agree with you on that one. It's never an easy job. Trying to colour match and make sure everybody's happy. Hence the reason.
Need to make up a few new colours with the amount of cars in the team.
Hence the reason I run Harrison's colours, because there's no chance I'm going to be racing in a race with Harrison. McKnight a bit loose there coming out of the corner. Harrison, I would like to say he'd get a bit of a draft and run on him, but I think the aero package would not be helping the cause.
I don't think the aero package is helping him, but looking at the last lap times, Harrison was 0.3 a second quicker than Jamie, so it could be, excuse the pun here, but it could be on for young and old in these closing stages of the race. Once again, we see Jamie versus Harrison.
Once again, the master and the apprentice. Great battle, of course. We'll stay on this one here. This is our closest battle here. This is for third spot on the podium. So Warboy is in second place. He's 5.6 seconds behind Kobe Jones, our race leader, as we start lap 64. So 3 laps to go.
Yeah, they're all. If young Harrison does manage to get ahead of Jamie, that will have Harrison will probably be the ultimate winner out of it, because he'll minimise the damage to the gap pulling away from Blake, and he'll slowly chip away at the gap that he's got between himself and Mr. McKnight. So I don't think Jamie will. If push comes to shove in these last couple of laps, I don't think Jamie's going to easily give up the position to young H.
I've really got a feeling here that H is not going to back down, but I'm also wondering whether fuel is an issue.
Well, Kobe out the front is still considerably quicker compared to the other cars going around.
I'm just reading Dave Baldock's comments.
I was having a bit of a giggle as well at Darren's comment about
More hits than Elvis.
yeah.
Harrison right up behind Jamie now. This is going to be close. Having a slight look. McKnight being defensive into turn 1 and turn 2. See if Harrison can carry more speed.
So that there is a little bit of a Blake and Kobe. If fuel does become an issue for the last couple of laps, do have a bit of room to the guys behind. But yeah, Jamie and Harrison, Harrison's probably in the box seat here at the moment because he's been following for most of the time. So he'd have a little bit of the advantage if fuel is getting really, really tight. Where Jamie might have to go a little bit careful, be driving with one eye in the rearview mirror.
Of course, as we know, when you start driving with an eye in the rearview mirror, you're not focusing on the road in front, which also means you're more increasing your chances of making a mistake. Of course, the other battle we've got going back is 8th and 9th for Logan Barnett, Nicholas Loveridge and Scotty McCune. It's our other tight little battle pack we've got left. As we're on the last lap of the race. So this will be very interesting to see if we get a last minute dive here from Dan Gate. Got to admit that as the series has gone on, Harrison's shown a lot more maturity with his driving, which has been very impressive to see.
Yeah, most definitely, especially considering how young he is and some of the guys that he's racing against. He's always a car stopped at turn 1. Don't think it'll be a safety car at this point in time. But yeah, young Harrison has certainly shown shown how much he's grown throughout this series, which is fantastic to see. Ooh. Sorry, Dylan Sipple just pulled out into some oncoming traffic there at the end of turn 1. That might be a case for the Dirty Pig replay post race after we watch these guys battle it out.
It's probably the last real chance Harrison's had to get the move done, so I think Jamie's done enough to keep him out of the way as we jump to KB Jones. So KB Jones coming through the final corners here to, on debut, become a race winner in the East Coast Series. Congratulations, Mr. KB Jones.
Whoa, sorry, young H has just put it in the wall.
Let's go a quick replay.
So I don't think he's going to lose a position though. But no, it was very well raced by Kobe.
H on the brakes there.
Huge moment, but yeah, Blake very solid with P2. Jamie rounding out the podium.
Rob Carmichael, after a few incidents early on in the race, comes home. P5, that's a good recovery, up 2 spots. Michael Whiting.
Nicholas Loveridge, our hard charger for the evening too.
Great drive to be up 11 spots for Nicholas. Nicholas Loveridge, where are we? Oh, he's already finished. Timmy Nichols. And we've got Michael Stewart. Logan Barnett has finished up in 11th. Blair Van Rees fought his way back quite well to come home in 12th after being on his roof in lap 1. Troy Sipple in 13th. 14th Ash Barella. And 15th Nathan Gore. And we might just go back and have a look at Dylan Sipple. I think you said it was, wasn't it? Before the finish?
Yeah, Nicholas Loveridge was another car that was involved with that. I just caught it out of the back of my eye, I did.
So let's go to the Dirty Pig replay. This is Dylan Sipple. I think he's parked the car out of the way, I think. And let a few guys past. And oh, that's not great. Not to worry. So anyway, we will go back to live. We'll start bringing up our race winner. We'll bring up our race winner, Mr. KB Jones. KB, first of all,
congratulations and welcome.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Great drive, mate.
Thank you.
Very difficult to predict your strategy with all the safety cars.
Yeah, because I got a message from a mate earlier saying 95% chance of safety car, and I said try 100.
It wasn't Hayden Veld, was it?
No, it was actually Rob.
Yes, you have to tell Bud we're disappointed he didn't come and join the series.
I'll get him onto it.
He's already admitted that he wasn't doing much else on his Tuesday night, so he's thrown himself under the bus. So we're expecting a People's Champion Part 2 to arrive and for him to give Jamie a rival for the position. So
yes,
it'll be good to see him come on board.
I'll get him on.
This coming from a couple of hack drivers on full send on Monday nights. Yeah, great drive. Congratulations on winning on debut. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Jamie, he's the People's Champ. I think he's the one that deserves all the thanks for this one.
Oh boy.
I'm glad you said it now before he's up here. That gives us a little bit of grace. When he watches this back, we might be in trouble, but for the short period of time, we could be safe.
We
Oh,
might
God.
bring up Blake. Mr. Warboys, our championship leader. Congratulations on your second place this evening.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Congratulations on another podium.
Yeah, keeping that average up, I think.
Looked like a pretty tough night, as we saw, I think, at least a minimum of 2 cars on their roofs.
Yeah, it's the conditions compared to quali seem to be a little bit different. So the setup I had been working on was a little bit off. But yeah, still had a pretty good setup to sort of have a crack with it. But yeah, tough track and tough to pass. So yeah.
So for us sitting here at home, I'm assuming you've got 0x?
Yes, I do.
Ooh,
Finally.
it's rather interesting because we've got a feeling, we're going to bring him up in a minute and ask the question, but we've got a feeling McKnight got an incident point during a safety car. So
Yeah, it looked like he did. I don't know if I'll be able to. Oh yeah, I might be able to have a look.
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see because like he's sort of kept very close in the championship by using the old 0x to close the gap all the time. So it'll be interesting to see if he's got away with it.
Yeah, well, on my end, it says he's got a 4.
A 4. There you go. There you go. That's what we thought too. Yes. So anyone want to give a shout out to Blakey boy?
Firstly to you guys for putting on another probably awesome stream. I'll go back and have a watch later. Everyone that's been tuning in, it's great to see the numbers. Benny putting on the series, it's going leaps and bounds, which is great to see. Last few rounds are going to be awesome. Championship's really tight, so looking forward to a great battle with Jamie for the rest of the championship. Wodonga Carts and Parts, LGK Carts Australia, Dirty Pig Clothing, Kinetic Industries, Kinetic Motorsport, and yeah, that's it.
No worries, mate. Well, everyone take a breath, and I'll bring in Mr. McKnight. Mr. McKnight, P3. Looks like you've had a very tough night tonight.
Well, tough is what I am, mate. So People's Champion was up for it. But third place was perfect, mate. We're 2 championship leaders who are right in there together. I was saying earlier to Blake, he's got the reflexes of a catmon. I've got the reflexes of an old chook. So, you know, the chance of me taking him out in the championship's pretty low. But to be in it with him, like I say, the boys at work with a 20-year-old, star at my age, mate, that's pretty good going, as you know, John. Pretty good going.
Well, it's pretty good going. And the $1,000,000 question we've all got, tonight from where we sit back here in the comm box,
yes,
is what the bleep happened on the safety car.
Right. Well, I was trying to trick Blake into going in for a pit stop. Right.
Yep.
And then as I've thought I can't fool this bloke, I've gone to go back over, and of course the lap is coming through at a square miles an hour. And I didn't get anywhere near him, but what's happened is he's locked up and got sideways and hit poor old Paul Young.
Mm.
And then the rebound off the wall hit me. So in the end, me and Paul both got it. But basically, I think we had just a very dubious and over-exuberant lapper going past, and didn't consider that the pit lane was there and there might be drivers ahead that are going to pit or considering pitting. And because I've got the reflexes of a chook, not a cat anymore, I was a bit slow to react and probably put him off a bit. And yeah, I don't really care though, mate. I got third, so that's all good.
That was good. And of course,
only 4x of the whole race too. I was pissed off.
And young H kept you honest there in the last few laps.
Look, I knew he was going to do that because what you don't know is, well, you do know this, John, actually, is I slipped the boys a few setups here and there, right? Just quietly, just between us, right? And I thought, he's definitely on my setup, I could tell, right? So we were going hammer and tong, and what had happened was I'd actually pushed very hard at the start to try and break Michael Whiting. And I don't normally do that, as you know. Normally I'm a conservative. But I thought if I can build up another 2-3 second gap, I'm home and hosed you because you can't pass. And what I didn't contend on is Michael and getting into trouble, and then Harrison going, "Oh, I'm here, mate. How you going?" because he's super quick. And I thought all I've got to do is frustrate him, and that's what I tried to do. It would have been frustrating the shit out of him. He was definitely quicker, but that's what I mean, mate. If I can run with these boys at 45, mate, I'm happy as Larry. And want to say well done to KB for winning his first race. And mate, I've really enjoyed having a battle with Blake. He's a real fair driver for a young guy. He's always polite and well mannered, mate. That's what I like in this world. So if he wins over me, mate, I expect that, to be honest. But I'll be super happy for him. But I'm going to make him work for it for the rest of what we've got left.
Well, that's good. It looks like we're really looking forward to it. Actually, I think Bathurst.
That's why they call me Honest Jamie, mate. Because I keep people honest.
I think Bathurst is going to be an extraordinary race.
Well, I go all right at Bathurst for an old bloke, and I know Blake goes pretty good at Bathurst too. So that's a perfect track to have it out, man. I reckon that's going to be
tops. Well, coming from experience, having Blake as dare I say it, as my co-driver, he certainly did more than the co-driver share of a 1,000 there. So
I've watched Blake at Bathurst. I've actually raced you guys. I was in that race, I think, with his at Bathurst, and you've got that same Aussie thing we all have. You were all pretty quick around there. The thing that I try and always remember is, for me to win, I've got to make no mistakes. Like no hit the wall, no scraping, no damage in the car. Yeah. And I hope and pray that you guys, when you're together, are going so fast you hit the wall a little bit and just give yourself a bit of damage so I can catch you. And that's generally how I ever get up, mate. But honestly, like Blake's pace tonight, like he was 7/10 quicker on his fastest lap. I'm not here saying that I'm as good as him, single lap pace or anything like that. I've just got to get a bit lucky and run the right strategy and hope a few people get in his way. That's all I can do.
Yeah. You want to give
entertaining stuff, as you know.
Yeah, it is. It is. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to, Jamie? Kobe said you can do it all.
How long have I got? Yeah, look, of course, Harrop, all my teammates at United Sim Sports and United Synergy Sim Racing, our combined team effort. Thanks to Jordan and all the boys and Brenton Hobson over there, having a great time sharing data and learning off each other. Thank Harrop, West End Motor Group, of course, Too Easy Finance. Valvoline, our main sponsor, who's been with me for 2 years now. I really appreciate their support. They're a great company to work with, and super big supporters of iRacing too, if you wouldn't believe it or not. They actually hold me to account. They watch the race and they go, mate, there was no one in Scops on Sunday night. I go, yeah, mate, don't worry, next week there will be. So they're really into it, which is great. And I want to thank young Ben, mate. How much work does that bloke do for everyone? He's a star. And the young guys at WK&P Broadcasting, mate, they're doing a great job as well. Especially that younger fella Nathan. He's a future champion in the com box. Carries old John a fair bit. So he's doing a great job. He's getting better every week. I really appreciate you putting it on,
which stream are you watching there?
No, you actually come up with some funny, sarcastic shit, Nathan, right?
Welcome to me.
Sometimes you get John in the middle of what he's saying, thinking about what you're saying, and it sort of puts him off. And then a minute later he goes, what you were saying. And because that's what the others do to me.
But it's a little bit like a race strategy. I certainly try my best to shape myself for a 0x by the end of the evening and see how I go.
What about John? How the fuck do you run off that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That's perfect. Like he's got all these little racecraft technologies going. He's like Ray Warren, the big rugby league commentator. Champagne stuff.
It's all right. I had to come out with some fun facts of my own tonight. So
I like the little corner flags too, and the little things you put up like, is it time yet? Is it time yet? Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't got one of the people's champion yet, but you'll get one.
Come on, Jamie.
Boys, I really appreciate the chat, and I hope you have a good week.
You didn't see who the splash screen was tonight, did you?
No, I haven't watched it yet. I was in the race.
Oh, no, you were in the race, but we also put it up on Facebook last night.
Oh, well, I don't do much Facebook. I'm a bit old. My missus had to go, have you seen all your messages on Facebook? And I'm like, no, I better have a look. My daughter asked me the other day if I had Twitter, and I said, what's that? And she goes, come on, Dad. I go, what is it? And she goes, it's like Facebook. And I go, I haven't got it.
This week's car was yours, mate. So.
Oh, you're a star, John. You're going straight to the top here.
You can't say we never put your car up.
Mate, you've got the ultimate thing here. You've got my respect, and that's worth, saying what is a couple of pounds of gold. So good on you, buddy. I really appreciate it.
No worries, Jamie. Thanks, mate. We
better
ring up Nicholas.
Yeah, have a good night.
Thanks, Jamie. The wrong button there. Yeah. Nick, thanks for waiting, mate. It's a hard act to follow when you come in behind Jamie.
Yeah, it sure is. Not that much.
Up 11 spots, mate. That finish 8th. You've survived the concrete jungle and you've done well. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate. Almost did it with 0x still until that last lap.
Oh, no.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was on 0. Hadn't touched anything, basically.
That was with Dylan Sipple, wasn't it? We did see that replay.
Someone parallel to the track, yeah. Look at their side sponsors, that was about it.
Yeah, he was trying to do the right thing and get out of the way of the leaders, and then tried to get back on the track, I think, when you came through. So
Yeah, right. Oh well.
Anyway,
Didn't cost me anything in the end.
yeah. So no, it's good. It's good to see, mate. You've really sort of been improving a lot throughout the season, which has been great to see.
Yeah, I was fighting some people I wouldn't normally have fought, so it was good. It was interesting to see single digits for a while at some point there, and in the position number, I was like, oh, it's a bit wild. It's probably a few people that have pitted going to come past me, and then yeah, I think at the end there, I had a tyre difference. You know, most people were about 10 or 12 laps fresher tyres than me, so.
No, it's not an easy circuit, particularly with the strategies and the safety cars really confusing everybody.
That's it, yeah.
Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to, mate?
Yeah, shout out to Backmarker, our team. Help us out with a few tracks when we need them, you know, like this one.
That's great.
That's good.
So next week we'll front up to Sebring, which will be another tough track.
Another bumpy track.
Another bumpy track, of course.
It'll give the shock absorbers another good workout 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully not as many panel damages.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, so it'll be a very tough race next week. I think it's another 300 Ks around Sebring, which will be tough in itself, as the leaders are very, very close still. They all finished 1, 2, 3 tonight. Oh, sorry, 2, 3, and 4 tonight was our championship leaders. So yeah, if you're around next week, jump back on the WK&P Facebook page and get on board and watch again and comment and let us know what you think.
Yeah, we'll see if we'll do maybe we'll see if there's another bingo round we can come up with, or if safety car bingo might be a part of the pre-race show moving forward.
No worries. We'll see you all next week.